What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for another fantastic video. What are we going to be looking at today? Today, we're going to be looking at a lot of very interesting activity on the sense of hedge funds rumored. Again, it's always rumored. There's always some very speculation. There hasn't been a true statement of anything like this happening, of a hedge fund going belly up, aka dying, aka having to literally sell everything to make margin. And there's a lot of very interesting blocks. What a block is a very large chunk of a company's stock at X amount of price. They're like, hey, we need to sell 10 million of this stock ASAP. Here's a chunk of 1 million at this price, and so forth. And they're just bring it out to anyone who's willing to pay those prices of those blocks. Normally it's Joe Blow at the hedge fund picks up the phone, says, hey Goldman, hey JP, hey whatever company, I need to buy X amount of blocks, or I need to get rid of X amount of blocks. The brokerage firm, aka Goldman Sachs in this case, will be the intermediary. I always mess that up. But anyways, they're going to play the middleman and then really kind of create that transaction to basically, I'm not going to say backstop it, but just kind of open up and let the multiple hedge funds know that, like, hey, we got some shares available. Let's put the stuff in the dark pool and other kind of variations, and see who nibbles and goes from there. Very interesting. We're going to link that link down in the description below, and as well, want to play this clip first. This is actually from Jim Cramer from the morning show. They talked about this on the amount of block selling that we saw, especially in BIDU or Baidu company. So let's go ahead and just play that clip real fast. Scott, roll the clip, Scott.
Stock of 10 million shares said to be offered via Goldman. Take a look at shares of Baidu in the extended hours. That stock's down nearly 6%. You've been talking about and focusing on these China stocks specifically this morning, right before we came on the air today.
Geez, these are just being roasted. Tencent, VIPS shop. These are just without. When I check around Wall Street, people are just saying they're for sale. I mean, well, thanks. That doesn't really get us anywhere. But these are very popular stocks with, again,
for sale.
We're talking about the younger cohort. They love Tencent. And yet Tencent is just on very big volume right now. It's being crushed.
Yeah, Baidu, you see there. Baba looks like it's going to open down a couple of bucks. We'll certainly keep our eye there as well.
All right, so that was basically that clip of my kind of justifying that. Going via the Wall Street Bets kind of article here, I wouldn't call it an article, a post, just kind of highlighting a couple of the transactions and what we saw on large liquidations. It wasn't just on a single day. It was like repeated over multiple days. You can kind of see here, this one, I'm sorry, which one did I click on first? I think I clicked on the VACA. Let's go look at they did DMs. They have blocked this one as well. But you see like IQ, you see a lot of of course you see the exchange line, the bid and ask, of course, and then you have the concurrent volume, and you can just see that really just kind of shoot up between those prices. Normally blocks are usually potentially right at the close to after hours, because it's a little bit more easy to kind of negate some of the potential bounces that we could see. Because again, the after hours and extended period is the wild west kind of symbol of just like the liquidity is not the greatest. So if you have a completely block out there and you got a customer willing to do it, Goldman puts it up, you just sweep it right off the deck. Because again, how many people in the after hours trading is going to buy 10 million block or whatever? So it's going to be pretty astounding to see that. The one that kind of really was interesting was Discovery. So if you haven't seen Discovery stock, that has been a complete rocket ship going up to the top right hand corner of the chart. Absolutely insane. Of course, you see here some after hours trading volume here from the 22nd, 23rd, 22nd to 19th to always to the 16th, well over on average couple million. So we have like 3.8, 1.7, 3.1, basically 1.7, almost 2, 1.5, and then multiple times here. A really aggressive volume coming in here at those, again, right at the market close. Again, that could be a lot of things. This, again, most likely could be a hedge fund blowing up, people trying to liquidate, or someone knows something. Again, it's very much speculating here, so you have to understand the speculation of this game. The guy did introduce this post. I have no idea what this says. It just has multiple emails here, and it says like, hey Matthew, please accept our orders. FSD 55 million shares at each strike for Baidu, TME, VIPS as confirmed receipt of email. Thanks. Blah 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 from Snow Lake Capital, trader from Eric Wu, basically sending this stuff out. And then you see here from the multiple pre-market blocks that you can kind of see here, Baidu, TME, and VIPS. You can see here for the market what they're currently trading at, and they're going to be looking at getting those different various blocks. Again, this is clearly in a foreign language which I cannot comprehend, but there are emails here. Is it, again, I can't prove these are right. The gentleman or the lady in the article does say very much like, hey, take this with a grain of salt. I have no idea. This is just some interesting links. Of course, this is not financial advice, but this individual does also say, in my opinion, these companies are heavily oversold and could present a great buying opportunity. So what we're going to go to now is going to be jumping into the charts, giving the relative of oversold preliminary kind of thing off of it. Usually, I don't like to buy just something because people think it's oversold. I think it's kind of somewhat skewed in that way. But so let's just kind of make our way to Thinkorswim here. And I'm actually going to make my charts just a little bit bigger. I'm going to detach this and we're just going to go right down the list here. Of course, with the very first one, BIDU, of course, Baidu. This thing has been a pretty large rocket ship, again, due to a lot of that growth that we saw with a lot of the NASDAQ stocks and a lot of those heavy growth. Really breaking out that November timeframe, we saw all these stocks really break out, and we just seen that continue to climb up, hit that Fibonacci number here at 357, missed it by $3, has been pretty much in a downward spiral. Then kind of caught somewhat of a bid here, and then kind of continued to kind of meander here, kind of creating a dead cat bounce, and then it kind of really got flushed here. Look at that volume on Friday. That is absolutely insane here. You can see in the after-hour market, they're looking at well 204, 205. If we go into a smaller time frame, look at this. That whole day, there was just complete selling, buying. Like this is if we go to this chart here, which is kind of tells a much better story here. So what this does here is helps us identify the volume here and the average volume. So down here you can see here the average volume, and I think I have it on a 20-day basis. The average volume for Baidu is around 13 million. On Friday, it traded 121 million. So yikes, that's pretty intense there. That's a lot of market activity going on there. And we're not talking earnings. There's nothing else going on here. There's just someone's dumping shares and someone's willing to buy these. So I find that quite interesting without a doubt here. Is it overbought, oversold? I would say it's been beaten down here. We do see that 187 to around 190 be some potential levels of support, but this has, the last 3 or 4 days has been a falling knife here. So I really don't want to be the first one to kind of jump in front of this freight train. I really don't want to be the sand doom that the boat ran into in the Suez Canal. I just want to stand on the sideline, stand far as back as I can. I don't want to be that tugboat to try to pull this one out of this little dip here. Can it bounce? Of course it can. Of course it can. But it's been damaged. Let's put it that way. Unless you have a longer term high rise and a lot of bit of fear on it, you go right ahead. Another one is, of course, we're going to talk about IQ. Of course, this thing just fell right off a knife's edge here. Another one that's been extremely just selling from that $30 range. It just last 3 days has just been just sliced, going down well below here and previously trading. We have a low here around 1450. It got really close to that limit here. Again, coming into that chart on Friday. Look at that insane amount of volume here, finding somewhat around that $14.60. Going to this chart again, like look at this absolutely insane amount of volume coming in here as well. Again, normally trading about 12, 13. This traded well over 140 million shares. So that's a lot of marbles there. Going into, again, is a chart, is it overbought? Is it oversold? This thing, I don't want to touch with the 10-foot pole here. You're going to be kind of seeing the story going on here. Like there's a reason why something happened here. Is it on sale? Go right ahead. I'll let you try to catch this falling knife, honestly. That's not the way I look at investing or trading, but very interesting stuff. VIPS, of course, VIPS, of course, this one, not as aggressively, but this thing still has seen, I mean, a fall off the cliff here. Again, is this due to the Chinese issues with the sense of delisting? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on this, but when you see a red candle basically going from $46 all the way down to $35, that's not a fun day. And then multiple coming down, seeing a lot of potentially a short-term bounce here. Same kind of pattern here. We're seeing that crazy amount of high volatility here. To kind of give a little bit of better perspective here, did we see that in NIO? Not really. Like the Chinese NIO company as well. Did we see that in BABA? A little bit, but not nearly amount of the volume. Again, it did somewhat kind of just meander a little bit, not as much as it has been. Very interesting stuff to definitely take out there. TME, a block of 467 million traded volume on Friday. That is a insane amount. Insane. This is, again, yeah, 10 cent. What don't they own in China? They own it. They have their hand in every single cookie jar. Look at this huge volume, same kind of pattern. Is it a huge fund that's liquidating? I don't know. Hasn't been confirmed or denied yet. Looking at this chart here as well, yeah, absolutely. Normally 20 million shares traded. It traded that 470 million shares. Insane. Again, kind of put myself on repeat here. I don't want to catch this falling knife. If you want to play this, I would play this with extreme small size. With 10 cent here, we're seeing that 200 EMA here. It's kind of above 1987. If that can hold here in the short term, because again, on the quarter, it had a nice little run there. But this selling off is insane. It's like, is it overdone? Is it like it just seems eerie. It doesn't seem like there's a rhyme or reason behind it. That I don't want to shoot first and ask questions later. This is kind of like, hold up here. Like let's rethink this before we start buying this kind of very, very steep decline here. So be mindful of that. And last but not least, we're going to be looking at Discovery. And this is the chart that we talked about that was absolutely gangbusters here. Look at this chart. This thing was trading. I mean, I remember trading this thing back in 2015, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this one. Same kind of scenario. It was 11 million normally traded up to 107, 108 million shares, okay? That is, look at this drop off. Again, it's a nice staircase up and then an elevator down, jumping from basically $78 all the way down to potentially $40. That's absolutely insane. That is, wow. Very, very steep. Again, we're talking, there goes Thinkorswim again, not dealing with the update here. Here we go. So about in a week or 7 trading days, it dropped by 55%. What does that seem like to you? Is again, there's like a couple people holding it up. Like that's insane. That is a lot of volume. That nothing compares to that. Like this thing has just falling off the cliff here. You can see the RSI volumes on oscillator. This is just heavily. Can this bounce? Heck yeah, it can, ladies and gentlemen. It's potentially going to bounce off that $40, potentially run back up to 52 to 55, and then maybe you get that potential FOMO or that market drop, kind of come back in, and then market could come drop right back down to 40 or even lower. Like, this is just something that you have to be super careful about. Like, I feel terrible for the individuals who have a 4 or 5, or I know people that have probably 20% stake in Discovery, which I never highly would recommend that. Literally, you lost all your gains all the way going back into the beginning of the year. Like, that's insane, right? That's absolutely insane. And at about 7 days, you lost everything for the last quarter for one stock. Whew. That is very, very dangerous kind of territory, and kind of giving you the full look at here. This thing, again, Discovery, I remember trading this back in 2014, 2015 up here, because I was starting getting the options at that time frame, and I was being an idiot, and I bought long calls, and I just got slapped across the face. Actually, it was more like a punch and then like a poke in the eye with those calls. But yeah, interesting. Definitely very careful on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't mean that lightly. So on that note, I hopefully everyone learned something here. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe on the way out the door, and I hopefully will see you guys on the live stream tomorrow at 9:30. All right, guys, catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.